This is episode 26. What's up, guys? Today we're talking about energy, in particular solar energy and other renewable energies. When you hear the word renewable, they're typically talking about forms of energy that don't run out. For example, solar energy focuses on the sun. The sun is pretty reliable. It goes up at a certain time and then it sets at a certain time. There's other forms of renewable energy. There's wind. That's a type of renewable energy. There's hydro, some types of energy. And when it comes to solar energy has advanced so much further in regards to that you can pretty much just buy a solar panel and put it on your house. Now that has important legal implications because, at least in the US, the government passed these solar carve-outs, and the idea that in most states, pretty much the majority of states in America, the local power company for that state has to buy solar energy. For example, if you have a solar panel on your house and it produces more energy than your house needs, you can sell that to your local utility company. And then what happens from a legal aspect of it, you negotiate a power purchase agreement. And then you can sell it on a monthly basis and they'll give you money or give you credits as you apply against your other energy needs, or they just give you cash, however they go about, however you all agree, or whatever their policy is for giving reward and paying for that type of utility. Now that has pretty important implications because now you can create a business model around it. That's the key to it, figuring out different business models, figuring out how you can use the law to focus on different business models. Because if you're putting it on your house, now all of a sudden you have another way to make money off real estate. So now you're not necessarily focused on the tenant being there. Now you can get money from the tenant. If you have a person that's renting the house, you get money from that person, as well as you can get money from the utility company paying you for your solar panels. I know a lot of places, New York necessarily isn't one of them, but in a lot of places, most places have backyards. Have one section for your solar panel, and you can make money off of that. And it just shows you how just like with land, you can make money. So now all of a sudden it doesn't necessarily have to be the most desirable land, because now you can make money off that land. Different ways you make money off land. For example, you have just a plot of land. I always like to talk about have a plot of land, like a backyard, just a plot. You can put some solar panels off of it. You can make money off solar panels. You can have a garden. Local fresh foods are in the demand now. So you can have your garden, and then once you have those markets that come, they typically be on a weekend or a couple of times a month. You can go sell the things you grow at the market. So that's another way you're making money. And then you can either sell it to someone else or allow someone else to sell it for you. You have a consignment agreement with that person. You give them your fruits and vegetables, whatever, and consign it to that person. And whatever they sell, you all get a percentage of it. And you can find people doing that at your local market. What else? You can also have a shed, storage. You can sell storage. A lot of people have boats, but they don't necessarily have places to store their boats. And you have a backyard, you can allow them to store your boat for X amount of dollars per month. So just having a plot of land, you can make money. And that's why it's important to start figuring out how you can get some land, because they're not making more land. You can build up, but they're still not necessarily making more land. And that's very important. So figure out how you can benefit from aspects of the land. I know with the blockchain, I talk about blockchain a lot, but we're going to talk about blockchain from the energy perspective. There's a company called Power Ledger, and they're trying to unlock energy using the blockchain. Because I always talk about blockchain, and there's one particular concept you need to remember. It's called the Internet of Value. Because right now you can send information across the internet. You can type in your email and send it, or put a file and send it. You can send audio. You can pick up a phone and talk to somebody on WhatsApp or messages or do text messages. You can send it across the internet, but you haven't really been able to send value across the internet. Well, that has changed with the blockchain, because now this intermediary has value. This is important to understand, because if you say, for example, you're trying to send some money to another country, you have the dollars and you want to send it to another country, say for example in euros. Now it may take some time for that money to actually hit that person's account. It may take a couple of days for it to actually hit. But with the Internet of Value, it allows them to be able to change this dollar, which has value, into what they call Ripple, XRP, that has its own value, and that's important. The middleman has value that's independent of these other currencies, because you can go to CoinMarketCap. You can go actually buy this middleman, this XRP middleman. It actually has its own value. It goes up and goes down. So now then it can change that into the euro or the yen or the whatever the ZAR, whatever type of currency you may have. We can exchange into that instantaneously, because it doesn't have to wait anymore. A lot of these banks, if I want to send some money to Mexico from Wells Fargo will have a bank account into one of the Mexican bank. They have a bank account in that Mexican bank, and then they have US dollars, and they'll be able to exchange that money, but they won't be able to do it real time. But with the XRP, what they're doing with MoneyGram in particular, they're doing it instantaneously, because they have this middleman that has value. You can go into the cryptocurrency markets and buy it. So it has value, a monetary value independent of the peso and the dollar. So that's very important. So they're trying to do the same thing with energy. They're unlocking energy. They have these receipts, these renewable energy receipts. And idea is that if you produce a certain megawatts, if you produce a certain amount of energy, they'll give you these receipts. And you can sell these receipts. And that's the equivalent of saying this receipt represents a certain level of energy. And what they're doing is they're allowing you to be able to transfer that and sell that real time, because now this receipt has value. You can swap it as a power ledger, which has value. It's on cryptocurrency, it's on Coinbase, and you can also put it into the other currency, which has value. So it's allowing it to happen in real time. Consumer demand requires transaction 24/7, 365. So that's important to understand about just energy and the future of energy, and how you can protect your property, and how you can monetize land. The regular person, this isn't necessarily commercial, this can be regular people like you and me. We can monetize land by putting a solar panel on our land and then selling it to the government. I know that's what some of the things that Akon does. And I believe he has $1 billion line of credit from the Chinese government, and he's building it, boom. And then the governments, they have budgets, they just don't have large energy budgets. So they're paying him over X amount of years, 3 to 7 years. So he's getting his money back from the government, and the money is guaranteed because the government doesn't pay their debts. They have bigger issues. So the money is guaranteed from the government. They just don't have these large budgets, but they can pay him over time. So Akon is doing some very impressive things when it comes to energy. But that's a business model you can use for the developing countries, but you can also continue to use that for other models you can use for the United States. So this has been episode 26. Thank you for tuning in. One step closer to 1,000 episodes.
See, you want the fame and I want the chain. We ain't got the same focus. I came in the game with my own